Okay, yesterday I entered the APPA Awards, the print awards for the AIPP. Once a year, all the professional photographers within that industry group, we get together and we submit 4 images to be judged by the other professional photographers within the AIPP. Now, this is a really exciting time. It's a time of year where I like to submit the body of work that I'm most passionate about. So this year it's really risky because this is a body of work that's a bit out there. It's pretty unusual, and you'll see when I show you here how unusual it is. And for me, it's very emotive. For me, it's a body of work that I feel like I've been searching for 15 years, and I've suddenly found it this year. It's a body of work that I've been working on through the entire 2019 period. Okay, I've only been focusing on this body of work. I intend to create an exhibition and a book. Hopefully the exhibition will open sometime in 2020. Now, I entered my 4 prints yesterday. However, I haven't even seen them yet. They've arrived now from Paul Jarvis at Perth Pro Lab. I get my prints done all the way over in Perth on the other side of the country because I'm over here currently at Crescent Head on the New South Wales East Coast. I'm actually travelling Australia. I'm in the caravan right now. And because I'm travelling Australia, I haven't really had enough time. Preferably, I would like to see my prints before I submit them, just in case I need to reprint. However, Paul's an incredible printer, and he assures me that they came up pretty good. Let's see. I'm a pretty hard judge. Let's see. Let's open these up. Just give me a second. Hopefully, I'm really hoping the judges can really interpret these on an emotional level. And that's going to be the key to getting any kind of score or award at all, is, you know, how well the judges can pick up on a story and interpret that on maybe even a personal, emotional level. That's what I'm hoping for. There's 5 judges within each judging panel when they're judging these images, so I'm hoping that at least one judge. Oh, look at this. These are incredibly packed. Look at Paul's done here. There's a soft padded case. Ilford. They're all printed on Ilford paper as well. I haven't used this paper before, I don't believe. Paul has recommended a very textural, paintedly paper for these images. So this is going to be quite an experience opening these up. Okay. Oh, we're still not there. This is like pass the parcel. We've opened the bag and there's another paper bag inside. The prints are already matted. They're already ready to go. Getting pretty nervous actually, because I don't have any choice. There's only a matter of days left to the closing date for this year's APPA. So if I'm not happy, which to be honest, I usually, you know, lately with my experience of making prints, I'm generally, 95 or so % happy every time I print, even unseen. But, for the biggest print awards of the year, I would love to be 100% happy, but it's usually not the case. And the things I worry about are usually things that don't get mentioned in the judging anyway. And look, to be honest, these prints are not technically perfect. That's part of the charm. It's part of the story. Okay, I'm sorry you can't see me unwrapping this on camera, but I'll show you the prints. Give me a second. Just opened up, here we go. I can now see the mats. Let me just pop these up. Remove that paper, here they are. Throw that down over there. Whew. Okay, let's have a look. Very interesting. Are you keen to have a bit of a look? Actually, I'll show you them in the order that I believe they should go. Now, they're not going to be necessarily viewed in that order. I'll put that one down over there. That's print number 1. Okay, so let me just rest that. Oh, you might have spotted a bit of a look at that one. There you go. We'll have a look at that one in a minute. Oh wow, very interesting. Oh wow, I love that one. That's print number 2. And that's print number 3, and the other one there was number 4. Okay, let's bring these back. Let me show you these in the order that if I was having an exhibition, they would be displayed in a particular order within these 4 prints. Now the exhibition would have obviously more than 4 prints. Well, not obviously, but it certainly would in my case, I believe. Maybe 16 or so. Let's take a look. I love this one. This is the exact feeling that I was hoping for. Let me take it out of that spotlight there. And if we come up pretty close, I'm just trying to keep an eye on what you guys can see there. Can you get a bit of a theme, a bit of a story? Can you feel the narrative of that image there? The narrative for me, the narrative that I'm hoping the judges are going to pick up on this particular image is that depression or darkness or sadness hides behind, you know, fake smiles. All right. I'm not sure. Hopefully, look, I had the choice of putting in a caption or not, and I decided not to with this one because I want to give the judges the opportunity to pick up and discover the narrative without my help with this particular image, because I believe it tells the story relatively clearly. So that was the decision I made. You probably can't see the paper there, but oh man, talk about, I am 100% happy with this one. It's absolutely just as I would have wanted it. The tones are gorgeous. The colours and the sort of the gradients and the way they softly feather from one to the other are beautiful. And that little crayon scribble, and I might tell you why the crayon scribble at the end of this. The little crayon drawing scribble over the top, which has actually been drawn on, you know, normal paper like a little kid would do, and then I photographed it and laid it over the top. But in this particular image, one of the other ones that I looked at didn't look so clear, I suppose, but in this particular one, it looks like the crayons have literally been drawn on top of the photograph, and that was the look I was hoping for. Some of the others are not quite as, I suppose, convincing on that level that they've been drawn on, and they look more like they've been overlaid, which is going to be part of that not quite 100% happy that I'm going to have to accept because of the fact I'm travelling Australia. I haven't really had time to proof and ship back and forward to Perth to Paul Jarvis there. All right, love that one. Love that one. I think that's going to do reasonably well. Let me put that down here, just being oh so careful. Image number 2. Let me have a look first, see what I think of this one. And I've got my torch here. This one's a very dark print, but I've got a torch here that's going to give me a little bit more of an idea of what the print will look like under judging lights. In fact, it's probably more like that, to be honest. This one for me, probably let me show you. Okay, so from back there, we've got a very dark image. Okay, well, it's very dark from up close and far back actually, but you probably can't see the crayon addition in this one until we get right up close there. Can you see the little boy in blue reaching up and holding the dark figure's hand there? Okay. I feel like on this one, it does look like it's drawn over the top, but not in crayon, which was my original intent. I wanted it to look like crayon, like a little kid's drawing. But as you can see, the actual style of the drawing in that stick figure and the arms are sort of coming off the head is reminiscent of a little kid's drawing once again. So even though it doesn't look like crayon because the thickness is not there, it looks like it's been drawn in a paint pen or a fine paint texture, and it does look like it's drawn over the top. So again, you know what, I think I'm pretty happy. The blacks are pretty solid in this, but the areas of detail around the dark figure and the tree and the little kind of hidden blue boy there, you know, all of those bits are as I would want them to be. Maybe it could be a little bit lighter just around the main shadowy figure, but I don't think that's a big deal. I think it tells the story. Yeah, quite powerfully again. So this image could be interpreted in a number of ways. You've got the dark, shadowy image in the background, which for me represents a loneliness and isolation and depression and anxiety. This whole series is based on my experiences of depression and anxiety. The little kid drawings for me are part of a narrative that's suggesting, or a juxtaposition, if you like, of the worries, concerns and stresses of life of a middle-aged adult, I guess, 40-odd-year-old adult, and then the carefree freedom and joy and play and laughter of what I see in my little 5-year-old boy. And the fact that this particular image for me is wanting to return to a life that is much more carefree, much more relaxed, much more joyful, much more spontaneous, these kind of things. Now, I'm not sure, I probably don't think the judges are going to pick up on that, that level of detail. They may do. I'm more assuming they might pick up on the childlike drawing and the juxtaposition of the depression or particularly the darkness and depression and loneliness of this series of work. And then it'll be interesting to see where they take it down that narrative from there, because generally with art like this, I feel like the narrative comes from the emotional experiences or the emotional state of the person that's viewing that, rather than, I mean, it's up to me as the artist to create the story based on myself, but then the viewer tends to pick up and run with that depending on their own emotional state. So that will be interesting. Is this next? It is. This one, and once again, I'm 100% happy, and the paper is gorgeous. You probably can't see the texture. But this one again, I'll show it to you in a minute. Hang on, anticipation. This one again, the crayon drawing is vibrant and sitting over the top of the paper like it was just scribbled straight onto this, you know, this beautiful piece of artwork, if you like. This piece of art. So let's take a look. In fact, this was the first image that I created in this entire series, which is called My Shadow. It's only recently matured into having these additions of crayon drawing over the top. And what I love about the crayons is the body of work is very dark, very serious, very gloomy, very lonely, and it shows that depression and often anxiety and that blurriness of an uncertain future, if you like. And what the crayon drawing adds is it adds that sense of joy, spontaneity, carefree, but it also adds the hope and the joy. And this one in particular, I think the crayon really adds, for me as the artist, really adds a level of hope. Okay, is that, you know, is that lonely person, which is myself there, on an incredible journey through the darkness, through those dark days. You can see that winding boardwalk that seems to wind down. And what I get, and again, what I hope the judges maybe grab here is that the lonely soul there is looking out longingly at that beautiful rainbow, hoping that the storms are breaking and the bright days are coming back. However, the path doesn't go directly to that rainbow. Okay? So there is hope. But it's a little bit way off just yet. Yeah, again, that's this. Look, I think my highest scoring one is going to be, that would be my bet, that one there. because I think it's the easiest to read. This one here, potentially, I can see one issue actually. Here we go here, butterfly. So this would be the final image in this set of 4, representing change, transformation. But we still have that darkness, we still have that lonely soul in the middle that now has butterfly wings, if you like. So transformed from a caterpillar, a little dark black caterpillar, or a little, whatever, transformed into butterfly wings with freedom and whatnot. Now, I'm extremely happy. There's one element of this image, and that is the, you see the bottom of the butterfly wings? One side is really, really bright and the other side's really, really dark. I wish that the bright side was more like the other side. Okay, you see how it's kind of losing detail there, whereas this side here, yeah, this side, sorry, the camera's back to front on selfie mode. This side here is holding the detail much better than this side here. And it's those little things that often get missed until you put them down on paper. And then you go, ooh, okay. So that would be something that I think the judges might, pick up on and knock points off for. It's only minor. It's only very minor, but I wish that was more symmetrical, because as it is, it's a very bright spot. It's drawing your eye, but it has no, significance to the story or the narration of this particular image. So the fact that it's drawing so much attention for no reason is not ideal. Okay, so we've got a little group of grass and flowers in the foreground for this butterfly. So flowers again are a metaphor for transformation, aren't they? So generally starting off as, as a little bud or a seedling or whatever you want to call it, and then they bloom out transform and bloom into something absolutely beautiful. So much like the butterfly, in this image as the artist, the flowers represent the same thing, transformation or changing from something to something else, if you like, from something to something else. Okay, once again, you have that little kid drawing. In this one, you can see it's not as convincing, the cutout, to be honest, on the crayon. You can see a little bit of the white paper kind of hidden in behind the yellows and the greens, which is not ideal. Again, in the final art pieces, they will be crayon drawn directly over the photograph, so that will be a beautiful thing. The paper is gorgeous. I love the texture, the soft tones throughout these images, particularly the soft tones and color gradients, particularly in this one and this one, are absolutely beautiful. Very happy with those. They can certainly go in with, a lot of confidence. They're beautiful, although this is black and white apart from the rainbow. Again, the tonal range is very delicate and very soft and quite beautiful. Very silky, or really satin effect, I suppose. Well, satin's probably not the right word, but just a soft detail created by the creative process of this series. So all in all, they're pretty good. I'm about 90% happy. Yeah, this one, as I said, the little boy could be a little bit more obvious and maybe a little bit thicker in the drawing. I would say that for me, maybe the two strongest are this one and the smiley face, but we can never tell. Hopefully the judges get a read. They're very risky. Who knows, I might get 475s or something. That would be disappointing, but it won't affect me for too long, because I believe, as I said, this is the strongest body of work artistically that I've created to date, and I don't want that to be influenced by the scores that I might get at APPA. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little bit. What I'm going to do is I'll record the AIPP judging if I'm able to, and we'll get a bit of live commentary or see the scores as they drop, as I'm absolutely freaking out. I will be when that happens, once the judging begins, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully the judges get a connection. Hopefully they put a challenge in and really fight for them to be up in those higher score ranges. I've had some experience with putting risky stuff into the landscape category before. This will be an illustrative, so they're used to seeing some risky stuff. My risky stuff in landscape has never done well. It's always been, well, it's done pretty well. Like it's got a silver award, like around the 80s, low 80s, 80s, 81s, 82s. All the risky stuff that I've ever got has all been around that 80, 81, 82. So we might be sitting on 480, 81, 82s here. I really don't know. Fingers crossed the judges can grab onto a part of that narrative, story, emotion behind the images, and you know, convey that to the rest of the panel. I hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned, keep a lookout for the next video where we'll take a look at the scoring and do a bit of a post-score review, what the judges said, where I maybe went wrong. I don't know, I don't think there'll be too much that I'll be overly concerned about or wanting to change, because I'm very happy where this body of work sits. But anyway, once the scores get done and dusted, we'll come back and take a look and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching along. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.